Well guys, we finally made it. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has literally sold now over 10 million copies in its 6 years run since the release on the 16th of January. The anniversary is coming very soon, and Bandai Namco has published a video on YouTube showcasing this in their video Dragon Ball Z Kakarot 10 million copies sold. Now I am stoked for one because I remember playing the main story, the DLCs, most of the season passes, and the only one I didn't play was Dragon Ball Daima just because I was too busy with other stuff. So yeah, I am just incredibly pleased with this game, honestly. The game has its ups and downs, of course, it's not perfect, but my friends, this game is most likely telling the story of Dragon Ball like never before. Like, you will never find a game which has literally told a story for the DLCs and the main story in this way, especially like the Trunks, the Warrior of Hope, which was the most darker one, right? The darker DLC, which was part of Season Pass 1. That one was crazy, right? So let's just do a bit of a recap and why I believe that, yes, I'm pretty sure I'm betting my money on that Bandai Namco is right now cooking behind the scenes a sequel to Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I am just so sure because, I mean, come on, why would you not build a sequel if you literally printed money like crazy, right? Obviously, not every single copy was sold at full price. I understand that there were discounts and, you know, other stuff, but still, it's 10 million. It's over 10 million, my friends. This is just crazy. So let's look back at the season passes, right? First we had Season Pass 1, which was a new Power Awakens with Battle of the Gods, introducing Super Saiyan God Goku. Then we had a new Power Awakens Part 2, Resurrection of F, which they added Super Saiyan Blue, of course, and Vegeta. Then Trunks, the Warrior of Hope, which was the last part of Season Pass 1. That one was really cool. Honestly, that was one of the best DLCs I played in history. The cutscenes were just amazing. That was a full prequel set in the future Trunks timeline. Then we have Season Pass 2, which was prequels and endings. First we had Bardock, Alone Against Fate. You play as Goku's father in this prequel, which is again really good, honestly. Then we have Piccolo Jr., the 23rd World Tournament. Covers the original Dragon Ball ending, which was honestly my big surprise. Nobody expected that, obviously. And the best part was that you had ground combat. That's when ground combat was pretty much inserted in this game. And then finally, Goku's next journey explores the time after the Buu saga, which is also, you know, pretty cool stuff, pretty good stuff, you know, quite interesting. Next after that, we have the following. We had Season Pass 3. So Season Pass 3 was to do with Daima Adventure Through the Demon Realm Part 1 and 2, which was adapting the Dragon Ball Daima anime, which some people like this, some people didn't like that much. It's, you know, obviously, you know, the jury's out how people like it, but it was pretty decent. I saw some people who were actually quite enjoying it and what other stuff, so, you know, it was pretty cool. So, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? I mean, you know, you can't really blame the DLC because it follows the actual anime and manga. So people who like the manga and anime would have enjoyed the package. People who did not enjoy the package. Now, we did have some experimental stuff happening as well. We had the card game, which the card game was kind of a hit and miss. I quite liked it, honestly, initially, and it was quite popular, but then they pulled it out. So then now you can only play it offline, which is kind of a bummer because the online mode was quite interesting, to be honest. But hey, here we go. This is how life goes, obviously. And yeah, and then we are now in 2026. So guys, it has been a freaking crazy ride. So honestly, I am hoping that the guys at Bandai Namco, they make something. I am better said CyberConnect 2, which were the developers of this one, right? I am just hoping that they give us something nice. I'm just hoping that they are going to make sure that, you know, they release something of quality, and hopefully they don't just give us something which is boring and bland. Give us more improvements, like give us more stuff. Like in the open world games these days, there's so much possibilities right now. Like you have better technology, right? Because this game was released on the PlayStation 5 and then it got like an update for the PS5. but obviously they only increased like some of the meshes, some of the rendering, but that's it, right? There weren't really big improvements in terms of combat. So I do hope that for the next one, which I'm pretty sure is in development, I do hope that they improve the combat, make it a bit more complex, the open world, make it more interactive. That would be really nice. And yeah, I mean, if they do those two things, because the game was already pretty solid, if they just do those two things, which is make the open world more interesting, right, and make the combat a bit more varied, then that's already a win-win situation. So just imagine the Super Saga with the cutscenes and the stuff which we've seen in the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I mean, guys, that would just blow me away. So here's to, you know, celebrating the success of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot with its ups and downs. It is still one of my favorite games I've ever played in my life. It was really fun, honestly. Some of the DLCs were fire, other DLCs were not that great, but nonetheless is still a very good game. Honestly, my final score after so much time right now would be about, I don't know, maybe like an 8.5 out of 10, just because it has some issues with some DLCs, and yeah, some of the, I guess some of the side quests or some of the things you could do there were a bit nonsensical, like driving a car on the street. It's just some of those things, we don't need them, right? Like, just focus on more Dragon Ball stuff, right? Like, do more Dragon Ball stuff. Like, I know, like, you could do more tournaments and more stuff like that, right? And not, you don't have to waste your time on adding stupid things like driving a car on the streets, because nobody cares about that. You don't play Dragon Ball for that. You play Dragon Ball for the combat. You play Dragon Ball for the immersion. You play Dragon Ball for the atmosphere of being a super being who's fighting against like monsters and destroying planets, right? That's the whole point of actually playing Dragon Ball. So for the developers, my message is pretty clear. You know, if you're making a sequel, which I do hope you are, which I am literally 90% or 95% sure of that matter, my only question, or I guess my only request to you guys would be, just make it more immersive. Just make it more crazy, more over the top. Don't hold back. Just go crazy on that, because that's what people want. They want massive fights. They want explosions. They want to see those things. They don't care about those like basic like stuff and about, you know, random dialogues and fetch quests and all these things. Just try to reduce that as much as possible, because that's just bloat, and nobody really cares about that bloat anymore. We're like in 2026, people are over those like fetch quests, like those are like 20 years old, right? Just give us something that is more focused on combat and the experience. So guys, that's it for today's video on this one, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, man. It has been a crazy ride, and I'm just so hyped, so excited about the future that you know, the saga holds. And you know, after Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which has been a good game, although it was abandoned quite a lot because the fan base got quite annoyed with the online ranked modes, and the story mode in Sparking Zero was not that great, honestly, but that's the problem there. But yeah, this game will still be remembered as an amazing single-player game, amazing story, some problems in the side quest department, of course, which I guess most games have it. Honestly, you don't have to be that harsh on it, because most games have that problem all the time, right? It's not just Dragon Ball, honestly. But apart from that, guys, it's been great, and I just hope so much that they release the next one in this generation, because, you know, they don't have to wait until PS6. Like right now, the PS5 is more than capable of delivering some banger quality graphics for the players. So with that, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments, what is your personal view on the game? Like, do you still like it? Do you still play it? What is your analysis on the game? What score would you give it? Would you give it a 10 out of 10, a 9, an 8, or 5? I don't know. Like, do you feel like disappointed? Or do you feel that this game has proven that yes, you are able to make an anime game, but for it to be good quality and good graphics, and of course to be entertaining and fun. So guys, that's it for me for this video. As always, I shall see you later in the next one.